tonight's episode with someone, with a friend. And if you're driving in your car, let someone know where they can hear TMG.
It's time for a new episode of TMG.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to TMG. I'm your host, Travis Patton Sr. I enjoy discovering and sharing real-life moments of inspiration from everyday people. And this show is about finding moments of inspiration for our everyday lives. And look, and if you're going to tell me something, then tell me something good. Hi, everybody, and welcome to a brand new episode of TMG. I'm your host, Travis Patton Sr. Hey, look, guys, real quick, don't forget to visit our YouTube page. That's Tell Me Something Good with the capital T. There it is. Right there on your screen, guys, and as always, I want to give a huge shout out to my biggest supporter, my biggest fan, my lovely wife, Nicole. Hey, Nicole, how you doing, girl? I know you're watching. I know you're listening. Guys, this show has been on for 3 years, and it is being heard in places all around the globe. I'm not kidding you guys. Places like Portugal and Canada, Spain and Mexico. There's places like Guatemala, South Africa. I haven't even been to these places, and TMG is there. I'm so glad. Guys, the other day, I was looking at some information on the show, and on one of the streaming platforms, it had some information about TMG. I just want to share this with you really quick. It had TMG listed, I kid you not, with their data as listed as in the top 3% podcasts out of 3 million in the world. Isn't that crazy? Man, it blew my mind. I am not crazy, man. I'm so excited. Listen, if this is your first time tuning in, your first time being here, let me take this moment to tell you thank you. Thank you so much for being here. And maybe, just maybe, you said, Travis, man, I've been listening to your show for the 3 years that you've been streaming. If you have, thank you so much for tuning in. And it doesn't matter whether you found us by accident or someone told you. Either way, I am glad that you are here today. It's because of you that we're here. Guys, listen, you know how we do this. Everybody that's been listening to the show knows that this show is all about finding moments of inspiration with everyday people. So if you have an inspiring story that you would like to share and maybe come on the show, guys, drop us a line with the email that's right there on your screen. It's TELL, me something 21 at gmail.com. And he said, Travis, man, I know someone who has an interesting story, but I don't want to come on the show. I'm a little camera shy. That's okay, man. Drop us their information and we'll get in contact with them. And you can remain anonymous if you'd like. There you go. How about that? Guys, I'm so excited to have my guests here tonight. They're really great friends. They're fellow podcasters. And I've learned a lot from these gentlemen. Guys, before I bring them on, you know I got to play some important information from a couple of our affiliate sponsors. Sit back, relax, and watch it, because TMG is streaming. Walmart is a proud associate sponsor of TMG Tell Me Something Good podcast. Please use the special link bit.ly/tell me something good and visit our sponsor. Remember, I may earn a commission when you buy through this link. Amazon. Amazon is the world's largest online retail store. Please use the special link bit.ly/tellmesomething AMZN for Amazon. With Amazon, you can spend less and smile more. Please visit one of our online sponsors today. There it is right there, guys. Please use the special link that's in the chat. And guys, listen, I know holiday season's coming up, and you may be wondering, where can you go to get a good gift for that very special person that you've been thinking about on your list? Where can I go? Guys, visit one of our sponsors, Walmart and Amazon. Use the special links, guys. It's Thursday. It's TMG, and we're streaming. And I got special guests tonight, guys, that you're going to absolutely love. They're not strangers to the show. They've been on here before, guys. They both host a weekly episodic podcast, guys, called Trash Talk. And they talk about everything. I know you would think they trashing people, but they're not. Guys, they talk about life. They talk about politics. They talk about health. They talk about movies. They talk about a lot of great things. And I wanted to bring them back on the show because I love listening to the show. Guys, I'm going to bring them in. But before I do, guys, tonight's episode, if you did not catch it, it's called What's in the Bag. Yeah, what's in the bag. Guys, in a world where we can access anything at the push of a button, it's kind of hard to imagine that there could be anything that could catch any of us by surprise. You could be where you are. I could be where I am. You could be in Portugal. And at the push of a button, you can see something. So it's kind of hard to imagine that there are still things that can still catch us by surprise. So, what are some things that we relied on years ago that you were surprised to find out that's still around today? That's what we're going to talk about. Guys, I'm going to bring in both of my special guests. Going to give a huge TMG welcome for Stuart, Sachs, and Brandon Novara. What's up, guys? How you doing?
What's up? What's up? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. You know, Travis, you got to come out of your shell one of these days.
I know. I'm too shy.
That's the Shy Guy Show.
I'm way too shy. My wife tells me I need to be more like you guys and just just a little more outgoing.
Just let it go. Let it go, man.
I mean, the way you attack your show and your microphone, I'm surprised that you don't have a cough medicine company as one of your sponsors.
I know. Well, we got Walmart, so you can pretty much buy it.
Well, that's right. Yeah, you can go to Walmart or order it on Amazon.
Order from Amazon, from Whole Foods. Man, you guys bring that energy out of me. I tell everybody this, and they don't believe it. When I started this 3 years ago, we met. We met through a mutual organization, Brandon, and 3 years ago, and it just took off. The relationship just kind of took off. And these guys are in Texas. They're not even in Birmingham, Alabama, and we talk and text quite a bit online. And man, these guys, they taught me a lot. I learned a lot. Again, I would say I'm gonna do this, and Brandon and Stuart be like, I don't know about that, Travis. Don't do that. I wouldn't do that. So I learned a lot about podcasting and about this world from these two individuals. So whatever I am, however I'm growing, I absolutely stand on the shoulders of these two giants to me. Because they did help propel me and push me. And people say, man, your show is growing, Travis, your show is this. And I gave those numbers earlier, and there's true facts. I kid you. I didn't make it up. But I owe a lot of it to you guys because you guys give me a lot of insight, knowledge on how to do things and how to make this really work and grow. So kudos to both of you guys. So thank you a lot, guys. Thanks a lot.
We're all just trying to figure it out. You know what I mean? Like
Brandon, is he talking about us?
I don't know. He's on the wrong show. I don't know. You know,
I had a couple of gummies before today.
dude, this whole industry, you know, it changes daily and it changes weekly, and like you can have an idea for your show and what direction you want it to go, and then all of a sudden you grow and you're like, well, maybe I need to turn this way, and it's
Yep.
not that you're changing who you are. Like I went back the other day and I was like, I'm gonna go back and listen to some old episodes, and I went back and listened to some old episodes that I did, and I was like, yeah, that's rough. Like, how did I make it, going on almost 4 years, 3.5 years now? So, on that one show, and then Stuart and I doing our thing, but you change, and you, just like in life, you grow, you adapt, you have different views and opinions, and it's awesome. I love it. I love that community has, grown, and we have kind of become one of those things where it's like, I'm just going to send a random message that has nothing to do with a podcast and just check in on these guys,
He does, man. He does.
And for me, I think the one thing that Brandon and I have tried to bring to our audiences is the fact that we probably lean a little more toward the lighter side of life. There's so much that's hard to deal with in our lives from day to day. When we get to recording, there may be something that's really edgy that we will get into and discuss. But for the most part, we try to keep it lively because that's the comments that we get. I mean, the people write back to us and just say, man, that was a great show. I was laughing. And just to know that for that 20 minutes or so, it brought a smile to somebody's face. I mean, that works a lot for me.
Yeah. Agreed.
Your formula works really, really well for you guys because you do address a lot of topics and you do keep it on a light side of things. But even when you're addressing serious topics, you guys, your personality mix and blends in it with it so well that you don't get lost in the seriousness of it. You let your personality come through even on those serious topics where it's kind of like, hey, that's actually a good point. He was funny, but that was a good point that he made. So, guys, you got to listen to Trash Talk. They're going to tell you all about the show when we get closer to the end. But, guys, I got my guys on the show today, guys. I have Brandon Novara. I got Stuart Sachs. Lauren was here earlier giving shout-outs. So, what's up, Lauren? That's Stuart's wife, man. She's hollering. And where's Luke, man?
He is hopefully well, no, not sleeping. He's at his mom's right now. So Luke is out.
Okay.
I can't record with Luke here, man. Like, actually, it's funny. Ironically enough, the last time the three of us were together on Trash Talk, Luke was here, and I had to give him strict instructions. Like, dude, I need you to chill. I need you to go in your room. I need you to go on your iPad and chill. And you know what? I give him credit, man. He did a good job.
When we do our shows, honestly, I'm more concerned about the cat than I am about Luke.
Dude, the cat is always attacking me. If I'm sitting down,
what are you doing to the cat, man?
Dude, I don't know. It's like he hears me talk. So if I'm sitting down at my desk doing the show, then he's jumping up on my lap, and I'm like, bro, I don't want to do it. Let me stand up. So if I stand up, because I talk with my hands, I got to move around. Then he's attacking my feet. He's looking at, and I'm literally, I've been on the show like kicking him, like I'm punting this cat.
Wait a minute. So, Brandon, you've done something to this cat. Stuart, he's done something to this cat, and this cat is getting his revenge.
Man, he's 13 years old. He just don't care,
He's old and ornery at that point.
Yeah, he's like me, and I get that. I respect that. But
he's like, actually, I think the cat's looking for some FaceTime.
Probably.
Cat's like, at this point, it is what it is, buddy. You're going to get what you're going to get.
I got a question to throw out to you guys.
What is it?
How come I'm the old guy on this show and I'm the only one with hair?
I've been shaving since I was a freshman, man. Look. I've been shaving my head since I was a freshman in high school, and then I stopped shaving it to grow it back out to see if I could. Probably, I don't remember how old. And I did. I had a head of hair, and then I shaved it again because I was like, I hate hair. And now I can't grow it out, and I don't want to grow it out. Matter of fact, I wish this part, like I got to shave tomorrow, but I wish if y'all are watching at home, I got a little 5 o'clock shadow on my head. I wish it would go away. Like, I don't want any more. Like, just save me money on my razors, man.
Oh man, well I don't have an excuse for it. I had a receding hairline, and my wife said, "Cut it,
Yeah. What's the point?
cut it,
What's the point?
just cut it, just cut
But
it."
you know
So,
what, Stuart? We can use Venmo, and we're aware that people don't write checks
oh,
anymore.
don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. That's an inside joke. We're not even.
We're not gonna go there.
Right.
Oh wait, guys, tonight's episode is called "What's in the Bag."
Yeah.
And I came up with that episode because I began to think about how the world has evolved and how the world has changed. And as the world has changed, a lot of things are different now, and we begin to look at things differently. And a lot of things that we looked at previously or relied on or depended on, I come to find out that some of those things are still in that bag. And that it's hard to imagine that, as they are developing AI, as we're speaking right now, how they're developing AI and how technology is developing, it's hard to imagine that anything on this planet could surprise us. And so I said, well, what in the world could still be in that bag that we used to rely on? We would say it's old-fashioned if we look at it now, or old-timey. And there's still some things that we still rely on that are still in that bag. And, with computers, we can push the computer, turn on the computer, push the button, and we're in China, we're in Portugal, we're in Spain, we're in Canada. At the push of a button, used to be a long-distance call would cost you money. Now your cell phone can make a long-distance call and no problem. Guys, I'm going to start off with either one of you want to start with that topic. What are some things that you find that today that we depended on years ago? It could be 5 years ago, 20 years ago, doesn't matter. That you find that you're still surprised to see that we still can depend on it today.
Well, I say, you know what? I think one of the biggest obvious things to me is coal.
Yeah.
I mean, let's look at that. Like, we know what the world is doing right now. We're trying to do. But let's look at everything that coal does. Look at what it brings. Look at the trains. When you see a train, what is it carrying? The fact that trains are
coal
is crazy to me.
Trains.
Like, give me a break. But they are hauling coal across the country still. Maybe it's not as much as it was 30, 40, 50 years ago. Sure.
Right.
But it's still pretty up there. And that's amazing to me.
It's crazy that we still depending on fossil fuels.
I think that's crazy. And I don't, you know what the thing is too? And I don't want to get in this debate, but I don't, it's not going to go away in our lifetime. It's not.
I don't think so either. Because it's too much money to be had on it. Yes. And I do like the fact that it does supply people with employment and jobs. I'm down for all of that.
Sure.
I'm just surprised that as a country, as a world, we still depend on things like fossil fuels. In the 50s and 40s and I was just looking at a video not too long ago, 1910, 1920, people depended on coal to heat their homes and for their stoves and for things like that. I remember my grandmother would tell me they went to school and they had a coal oven. They would put coal in the oven to heat the schoolroom. What about you, Stuart?
That's crazy.
Well, you're talking about the fossil fuels. If nothing else, with all of this trend towards electric cars and batteries and everything, you always have to have a backup plan and all. And that's where I think, the coal it will always be that backup plan, because when other things start to fail, you have to rely on the old-fashioned ways to get things done. You mentioned coal. Ice is another thing that's in that same category. We used to go out and get blocks of ice to put in an ice box to keep things cold. Today, you're still getting your ice cubes out of your refrigerator. You're still making ice for a variety of reasons. So it's something, it ain't going to go away. It's just we finding new ways to do it faster and better. But still, you want to have a good time sometime, go someplace where they got a block of ice and watch what kids can do with a block of ice. Or go to the zoo. They throw a block of ice into the bear cage,
Yep.
and they go crazy with a block of ice.
Well, think about it too. Like when you go overseas, like when I went to Ireland, ice is not a thing. I mean, it's there, but it's not a thing.
Yeah.
You don't get ice in your water. You know, you just get your water. You know,
Right.
There's a lot of bars and pubs I went to. I mean, I didn't really drink a lot of water then, but you know, every now and then you got to hydrate. And I remember, you know, getting my glass of water. Number one, it's not nearly as big as what we do when we go out to the restaurants now. It's a nice thin glass, small. There's no ice in it. No ice in it at all.
Right.
And it, you know, over there, it's in the hotels and stuff like that. It's a luxury for us.
Mm-hmm.
But here, could you imagine going to a restaurant where they don't get, especially in Texas or even where you're at, man?
In Alabama, are you kidding me?
Yeah, you're in Bama, dude. It ain't exactly cold there, you know.
Got to have ice and water.
You got to, because
Look,
otherwise you're drinking hot water, you know.
We used to get our water out of the faucet.
You
know,
get it
you
out
want a
of the
glass of
well.
water, you get a glass, you open up the faucet, you get a glass of water. Now, you know, we buy it in plastic.
In plastic packs.
You know, which I still have a hard time with that. Or when you go to a sporting event and they want, for a 12-ounce plastic bottle of water, that's $6.
$6.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, water? Come on.
But you pay for it.
You know,
you'll pay for it. You'll buy it.
Look, when we were kids, where did we drink our water from?
Out the hose pipe.
The garden hose.
Absolutely.
The garden hose.
Stuart got his out of the well in the backyard. They went out there, little house on the prairie style.
No, we used to we walked up to the mountain with the yoke and the buckets and everything, and we would get it and bring it back home.
I like this.
Yeah.
We got enough water for the night.
We're good for now. But I'm just surprised, though. Those are things that we depended on, and it just looks so different now. So when we're talking about things in the bag, it just surprises me that those things that we depend on look so different. We were talking before the show, and I dropped this nugget. You guys looked at me like I was crazy. Okay, so I remember everybody that's watching, everybody that's listening, if you're listening right now, whether you're at work, you're at home, you got the kids, so wherever you're listening to the show right now, whatever part of the world you're listening to the show, I know, and put this in chat, guys, I know you remember that there was a time when you called a company, you got a human being. Wow. You got a customer service person. I am still surprised that there are still customer service personnel working for companies. And I do this for a living. And I'm going to be honest with you. I am still surprised that is something that we relied upon that is still being used today. I'm surprised it's still in the bag.
They try. I will tell you, there's certain companies, I'm not going to say who they are, but there's certain companies that will try their hardest to not get you to somebody. Man. Options on, press 1, press 2, press 3. Then if you go online to even look how to contact them, yep. It's impossible to would you like a virtual chat? Would you like an email? They want to do everything to avoid you talking to a human being. And then unfortunately, there's a flip side of it. If you do get a human being, 9 times out of 10 or 8 times out of 10, it's just not somebody that's going to relate to you. I'm trying to be PC because this is not my show. If this was my show, I would say what I want to say. And I might just say it anyway. Look, I'm getting somebody who isn't even in this country, who isn't even in the next country, who isn't in the next country, who's talking to me under a bamboo tent, trying to sit there and I'm not even mad at them that they good for them for making money. Hey, take the job. But dude, we are not jiving. You're just reading an index card.
Reading that script. Script.
How can I help you? Well, I just explained it for 30 minutes. I'm not going to repeat myself. And I feel bad because here I am getting mad at this poor dude. Well, he's getting coconuts thrown at him,
Or you ask a question and interrupt the script.
Yeah. Oh, man. Whoa. Glitch in the matrix.
Right.
The matrix. Yeah. But that's
you try to.
I think since COVID, in my opinion, the companies that have gone back and looked at how they operated prior to COVID and how they needed to survive post-COVID. The ones that have done it right have gone back to the basics. They've gone back to people, to connections, and I think that's one of those old things, old school mentalities that's going to get these companies to the next level.
Absolutely.
Well, or my favorite one is when, like Brandon said, you go through all the prompts. First of all, if you have a question for us, go to our website, www.askaquestion.com, and then you're going through all of that. But then they give you the 8 or 9 or 10 different choices, and then the last one is always to hear these choices again. Push number 9, and you go through the whole thing. You finally, or stay on the line. Now you stay on the line, and it switches you over to customer service, and then all of a sudden, you get Brandon's friend, who is probably from the other side of the Pacific Ocean, who says, "I'm not at my desk right now, but if you leave a message, I'll try and get back to you."
Yeah, and you're like, dude, what desk? You don't have a desk.
You don't. I know you're remote. I know you're at home right now.
Right, I know you're there.
I can hear the TV in the background.
So customer service may be around, but boy, it certainly has changed. Because I remember when you used to call the bank or whatever. Not only did you talk to a real person, but you've probably been talking to that real person for the last 5 or 10 years.
Absolutely.
And so you'd say, "Hi, Sarah, how you doing? How the kids doing? Did your son get over the whooping cough?"
Exactly.
So you had a conversation. You knew people that way. Today, you don't know a soul.
And that brings us to another point.
Then when you call back the next time, you say, is Natalie there?
Yep.
I got another question. No, can I help you? Okay, now I got to go through the whole spiel again.
All over again.
Because Natalie is off on a break.
Natalie stepped away to get some coffee. That brings up another point, guys. Before I bring that point up, I got to say this. Guys, if you look behind me, I have my hope screen. And I call this my hope screen, guys, because October is also known as Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And a lot of individuals have been suffering from breast cancer. And whether you guys, whether people know it or not, each year in the United States, about 240,000 cases of breast cancer are diagnosed in women and about 2,100 in men. That's right, men also. About 42,000 women and 500 men in the U.S. die each year from breast cancer. Black women, guys, have a higher rate of death from breast cancer than all other women. Please, if you're listening to this show, guys, know for yourself, get yourself checked out today. That brought up another interesting point, Stuart. You talked about how you could call a certain business, maybe a bank or whoever it was, and speak to that same person. Another thing I find, and be honest, I find that's still in the bag. That surprises me, that there are some lasting business relationships like that. Given that things are online, I'm surprised that sometimes you can still call and get that same individual that you talk to, and you be like, is this a recording? I can't believe I got you again. People will call my job and they say, can I speak? And I would answer the phone and they'd be shocked to hear me again. I'm like, well, I'm not going anywhere. But they're so used to not getting that same person. So another thing that surprises me that is still in the bag that we depended on, back in the days of the 20s and 30s and 40s and 50s, people depended on people's word.
Mm-hmm.
They depended on your word. And I'm surprised that is still in the bag, that it counts for something nowadays.
It does. I don't know if it's as high as it used to.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, it means something to me, and sometimes we can't keep our word. Sometimes we can't. We try, and sometimes maybe outside circumstances. But I think how we rectify that is we own that. We own that. And I've had. Take it from me. I've had to own so much in my life. So, but it is important. And again, I go back to, I think if businesses, people, relationships, whatever are going to survive, it is relying on word and having that one-on-one connection. It's about people. It's not about numbers,
Absolutely.
And I believe that
Lauren and I were mama papa operators for 40 years. We ran our shops, and we were in the shop every day. That's what's missing today, is going into a store and the owner is absent. They just there's somebody that's sitting there on their cell phone, and they'll do you need anything? Oh, okay. Well, if you need help, just call me. Yeah. And that is missing today, is the smaller mama papa operations. Lauren and I will go out of our way to shop in independently owned and operated businesses.
Right.
And frankly, I urge everybody, we do it on our shows, and Travis, you can relate to this too, is just get in the car and go to a small town that's outside the major cities. Correct. Where they've got that little square, and there's, maybe 30 businesses around that square. And the owner is in those shops, and you will get such service. And you'll get answers to your questions. And it exists. It's shrinking, but it still exists. Just, you got to get out of the major malls, and you got to get out of the major urban environments and go out there and seek that. And you'll probably find prices just as good as if you go online to order your goods.
Absolutely.
They've made it real easy now. Just order it, and if it doesn't fit, just ship it back. Man, the experience of going into a shop and sitting down, trying something on, having somebody say to you honestly, that doesn't look too bad, but I got a couple of other things I want you to try.
Yeah, let me go in the back and get something else I think that might look good on you.
And how many times have you walked out a satisfied customer with something that you never thought you would ever pick up off the rack and try on?
You're so right.
And that's a great feeling to do that.
Yeah. One thing I was thinking about too, when you talked about this, is lighthouses.
Ooh.
Lighthouses are amazing to me. I just watched a whole thing on them like recently. And one in particular, of course, I can't remember exactly where it is, but it's in a place that you don't want to be. It's beautiful. It's been there for years, and they pay somebody almost like $1 million to live there for 365.
Jeez.
And you're out there. And first off, I'm like, well, $1 million, I'm like in a different world. If I didn't have kids, I'm like, put me out there. Cause do I have Wi-Fi? Can I if not, can I bring my DVDs? I'll bring DVDs, Can
I watch something?
Yeah, I just sit there and sleep, watch something and eat, because I'm thinking, like, you live there a year and you've got supplies, but we know what a lighthouse is. Like, where are you going to put all this stuff, And they talk about, they don't get many visitors, obviously, and they're where they're located. Yeah, one day it can be peaceful and you can fish right off the edge, Yep. The other day, the waves are coming over the lighthouse. It was amazing to watch, but I thought about it and I'm like, why do we even need it still? In this day and age, with our technology and how we see things, why do we need somebody to make sure that light is on? It's not like that ocean and those rocks have just formed out of nowhere. They've been there. And who's going that close? But they still need somebody to help them see in the dark. That's amazing to me.
That actually is amazing. I didn't know that piece, Brandon, but the idea to keep the light on in a lighthouse in a world where a lot of ships now, they use technology to help avoid rocks and know when map the coastline for them, and the idea of having a lighthouse that people use in the 1800s and 1900s that says, hey, you're getting too close, and let you know when the coast is. That's actually pretty cool, but it's still in the bag.
Right. It's crazy.
That's right. And some of those, while they were there to help maritime people find their way, especially in the fog, in the dark, whatever. Today, what they are doing is they are now becoming historical markers. Absolutely. And so people who travel, there are people that will go along into New England and specifically go on tours of some of the old lighthouses. Wow. We moved here from the Florida Keys, and there's a lighthouse off the coast of the Florida Keys called Alligator Point. And the lighthouse was there for decades and decades. The light finally burned out and nobody really knew why, and it was gone for like 2 or 3 years. The people in Monroe County, Florida, because the government said, we don't need the lighthouse, just leave it there until it falls into the ocean.
Right.
The people didn't stand for that. They had a fundraiser. They raised $500,000 to go out there and to rewire and reconnect the light. And so now it's at the people's, help. It's now illuminated again to help people that are coming and going at night.
Wow.
Especially those that are coming from Cuba.
See, guys, I keep telling you, there's reasons. There are certain things are still in the bag. We call them old-fashioned. We say, we don't need that anymore. Society has moved on from that. But if you dig a little deeper, there are reasons certain things are still in the bag. Guys, I'm going to play 2 more pieces from some affiliate sponsors. When I come back, guys, this talk is getting real good. I told you it would be. Mint Mobile. Sign up and find the cellular plan that's right for you. Use the special link bit.ly/tell-me-something-mint and visit our sponsor. Remember, I may earn a commission when you buy through this link. Fanatics is the place to go for all of your officially licensed sports gear from your favorite sports and sports teams. Use the special link bit.ly/tell-me-something-21 and pay a visit to our sponsor today. Remember, I may earn a commission when you buy through this link. There you go, guys. So please use the special links to visit our sponsors. It's football season, guys. It's baseball. I know you were talking earlier baseball with us, Brandon. There you go, guys. Get your official jerseys. And I know you like soccer already, Brandon. So I already know. So guys, get your favorite jerseys. Guys, we're talking today. I'm joined by Stuart Sachs and Brandon Novara of Trash Talk. Thank you, everybody, for joining in. Today's topic, guys, is what's in the bag. And we're talking about things that once that we as a society depended on, and that now we're surprised to find out that in this world of technology, it is still important today. We brought up some great topics like customer service, a lighthouse. Guys, I got one I'm going to drop at you.
What we got?
Everything's online, right? Everything's internet, your phone, everything. Here's one I'm surprised that to find it's still around. Newspapers and magazines.
Yes.
I'm surprised that it's still in the bag, that there are still newspapers that are very relevant. There's still new magazines that are very relevant. There are publications. People still subscribe to these publications. And I'm surprised it is still in the bag.
I was surprised to learn at where I work that we have a small, very small, not like it used to be back in the day, section for magazines.
Wow.
I said, they're like, somebody asked me the other day, this girl, and she worked for whatever company that stocks the magazines. And she came in and she's like, she was cutting through. I thought she was looking for a bottle of wine. I'm ready to make a sale. Like, let's go. And she's like, do you know where the magazines are? And I looked at her and said, what are you talking about?
What magazine?
And she's like, magazines here. I got to stock them. And I'm like, nobody's buying that crap. Like, nobody. Like, what? You're at the wrong store. And no, I was wrong. I've been there over a year and I didn't even know. But it blows my mind. I saw somebody posted online. They're like the latest issue of Rolling Stone. And I'm like, I thought that was all online now.
All online now.
And what's Rolling Stone doing anyway? What are they talking about, But because they don't even cover music anymore. It's like MTV. They don't even show videos, And it shocked me, though. I'm shocked. And I think the newspaper shocked me, too, because after everything that's gone on, and we know that the media just whatever, this is not a political thing. We just know what channel's going to say what narrative, what regardless. Why would you pay for a newspaper to not give you real information? Like, I'm so blown away by that.
It's still in the bag, man.
And I think there's an extension of that too, and that is libraries.
Oh
That
man, yeah.
I love a library though.
There still are libraries, and when you go into one, it's still amazing how many people want to sit in the atmosphere of a library to research, to study, to work, just to go and read a book. At a time when virtually everything can be on an iPad or on your phone.
Well,
Absolutely.
look at our library here in Frisco. Massive. I mean, there's a T-Rex inside of it,
Wow.
And look at the activities that they have there. Yes, they've got books, but look at what they've done. They've created on every level, from like, hey, I'm serious, I'm in school, I got to do a research paper, to Luke and I can go and have a reading corner, and there's all these little pillows and couches and
correct.
an area to eat. Like, they've created that environment, and some of the books you're not going to find on your Kindle, you're not going to find on Amazon. Right. So you got to go there. But they have done a remarkable job of making libraries a place to go, and that is impressive in this day and age.
And also what they've done in this library is they have put in, I think there's something like about 30 meeting rooms, anything from maybe for 3 or 4 people up to maybe 20. So you can just go in and sign up from week to week if you want your group to go and work together. So it might be a business group, it might be a social group,
correct,
whatever.
Correct.
You can use the library to meet and sit down in a private room and have your discussion. They have, whiteboards and all for you to use. They've got, they're all outfitted for presentations. So. The library is where we all grew up, and when we went to college, you spent time in the library because it was a quiet place to concentrate and all. And today it's still being used, but it's being used for so many more things like that. And you mentioned the newspapers. Probably the one newspaper that will always exist is the Wall Street Journal. Yeah. Is because it's a business-oriented newspaper. And also it is a focused newspaper. And there are people, whether they're commuters in the major cities, get on a train, open up that newspaper and read it while you're going to work.
Absolutely.
It's become a vehicle. Or how many times have you checked out at the grocery store and they've got the National Enquirer and they've got a couple
that's not a newspaper.
No, but it's still a paper form of information.
It's still a publication that's being
like the magazines. You see People magazine right at the checkout because it's an impulse item, and people while they're waiting to check out pick up a magazine.
I can tell you, the last time I've bought several magazines over the last 10 years, but it's usually a special one. Like when Prince died, they put out this big. Bowie died, and I bought it because I'm that guy.
Right.
But or if the Rangers win the World Series, there will be a World Series type magazine.
Like Sports Illustrated will have the Rangers story. They'll show their entire season, in pictures and everything. They have the whole layout and the whole spread,
and that's cool. I get that,
But it's just to me. I know back in the day when I was coming up, I remember. The paper boy throwing paper, the daily paper. That's how people got their news, either from the 6 o'clock news, from the newspaper. And I'm surprised to find that these publications are still in the bag. As much as technology we have, and we're beginning to depend on more and more, I'm surprised that these things are still there. I mean, even things like different values. We're talking about keeping your word. Values like that, honesty, things like that, or things like when you go to I don't know, the Boy Scouts, the thing you learn in the Boy Scout, those values they teach you there, the values your parents teach you. It's hard to believe that those things are still in the bag and they're still just as important. Be honest, keep your word. Don't treat everybody the way you want to be treated. Those core values, they're still in the bag, guys. And even though we have, social media is one of the biggest influences we have. One of the biggest influences we have is social media, and social media can show you anything you want. Anything you want to see, social media can show you.
Real or fake. It doesn't.
Real or fake. And you can't. And here's the thing: you can't determine which is which now.
You can't. No, you can't.
And it's hard to. Believe that it's in the bag.
And we talked about shopping in small mom and pop operations for your retail goods. It's the same thing with the small town newspapers.
Yeah,
they are still surviving because the people that live in these suburban communities or these more rural areas, there's no information for them to see in a big city newspaper. So they have to rely on that new local paper and everything to get what's happening in their community. And don't kid yourself. There's still a lot of people that have subscriptions to newspapers because mom every Thursday opens up that paper and cuts out the coupons.
Ain't nobody
to
cut
go
out
to the grocery store.
No. Man, yes there are. Stuart, he doesn't know. There are people I know people today, Brandon, that made a business out of cutting coupons.
Coupons are great. I'm not putting coupons down. Trust me, I love them. But a lot of stores nowadays, you come in, you can grab the coupon right at the store. You ain't got to wait.
Well, that's true.
You ain't got to wait for the newspaper to clip. And because I can tell you right now, I work in it daily. I ain't seen nobody bringing like
a bag.
They ain't bringing a bag, a little filing thing, pulling out the coupons. They got them there. They are doing it. They are putting it on your mobile. They are giving you your digi coupon. They are putting that in the store. Grab the ticket. I don't know, man.
If they're over 60, they're probably still carrying the paper cut out.
They got a Rolodex.
They got a Rolodex, and they're still looking for Kmart. Where'd Kmart go?
Guys, I mentioned you guys something, right? All right. So everybody that's listening right now, there's somebody right now who's driving. There's someone right now in Egypt that's listening to this show. I kid you not. Someone in Egypt.
I don't know how. I think I'm not even allowed to talk about Egypt. So.
Well, spell it out. There's places all around the world that's listening to TMG. And right now, you guys' voice is being heard on the show. But I know that they could also hear you guys' voice on Trash Talk.
Yeah.
Tell them, where can they hear Trash Talk? What time do you guys show? Come on. Let the audience know, where can they hear your show, guys?
Look, we are every Tuesday, 8 a.m., but we are everywhere. Spotify, Amazon Music, we're YouTube, everywhere. Anywhere that a podcast can be heard or watched. And the great thing about it is on Spotify, you can listen or you can see our beautiful faces. It shows both. And every Tuesday, 8 a.m., we are there. And it's the great thing is, there are some shows that go 35, 40 minutes, but typically we're in that nice 22-minute mark. We like to cut it out, get to the point, talk about it. Boom. We know your time's important. We know that what you choose to listen to, there's so many choices out there, and how you spend your entertainment, your relaxation is critical. We want to keep that in that bag. We want to sit there and hone that little window. And every Tuesday at 8 a.m., you can check out Stuart and I on Trash Talk.
Awesome.
Yep. We aren't heard in as many countries as Tell Me Something Good.
That's my fault.
That I was going to say, because that's Brandon's fault.
It is fault.
He's gotten our show thrown out of more countries.
Look, I got the emails. I showed Stuart. I said, Stuart, I got this email. We're not here anymore. They just said our show will not be played in here.
Right. Yeah. So, for instance, in Portugal, you can listen to Tell Me Something Good, but You won't hear Trash Talk. We're on the outs with them for some reason
I don't know.
right
Wow.
now, and Guatemala too.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's true.
jeez.
That's true.
Good grief, God. All right, each of you also have your individual shows as well. Brandon, you do Life of an Average Joe podcast.
Yeah.
And Stuart, you and Laura, your wife, has a show, but you also do another one, Someone You Should Know.
Tell me something good. Yeah, someone you should know. That's it. And just like what you do, Travis. My show launches every Wednesday at 10 a.m. And it's a one-on-one conversation with people showcasing their careers, their hobbies, their passions, and it can be something very serious. Or most of the time, I try to seek out those people that just really have a cool backstory. And then my wife and I also do a show every Thursday at 1:00. It launches, and our last name is Sachs, SAX. So the show is Opposite Saxes, and we share conversations. Sometimes we agree, and many times we have a different point of view about the topic that we pick. But the beauty is what Brandon talked about is even though these shows launch at a certain time on a certain day each week, go to Spotify, go to YouTube, go to any one of the platforms that's out there, at your convenience when you're sitting back on your phone, your tablet, your computer, and drop in. And important thing is let us know what you think. And if you got ideas or you want to join us on the show, hey, just throw it out there. We'll take care of you.
I don't know about that. Maybe Stuart will, but I don't know if I want you on the show. But I mean,
What can we hear? Life of an Average Show.
Life
we
of
even
an
have
Average.
stickers.
It's a sticker, baby. Life of an Average Show podcast, man. That is every Wednesday. I drop a new episode every Wednesday. And you can listen to that again on all, you guys listen to podcasts, Apple Podcasts, I don't have to go down the laundry list, but it's there. And you can always go to lifeofanaverageshowpodcast.com, check that out. But it is everywhere. And I just talk about really everything, my life, I have guests on, not as much, but I do like to mix it up and bring some guests on. For the most part, I do it by myself, and that's probably because of when I record, the timing of it. I might record at 2 a.m. and knock out 5 shows, and then just keep going. But I talk about everything. I talk about things I've gone through, in my life, where I'm at now, from fatherhood to stories that I probably shouldn't be alive now, but things that I've experienced, jumping out of an airplane, running a nightclub. This whole past month of October, it was all spooky stuff because it's my favorite time of year.
Yeah, so, we know. Stuart, don't we know?
Well, and that's another aspect of Brandon that's really cool is that he has been a writer and a critic for years and years, and he likes to review movies.
I do that.
Man, he does.
A lot of his podcasts and everything talk about the good, the bad, the in and outs of some of the movies. Talks about the actors and the directors and the scenes and what's good and what's bad about them. And it's really cool because it's a fresh perspective of that.
Yeah, it's fun.
Sometimes guys don't. Now he will also let you know if there's going to be spoilers. So he'll wait, guys, spoiler alert. And I'll let me skip it. Let me skip till I watch it. Oh, Brandon, the new season of Invincible's coming out.
Okay. Yes.
The new season, I think it's November the 7th.
I haven't. Yeah, I haven't even caught up on the last season yet.
Oh my!
I'm about to though. I needed to get through October. I had a big October to get through, and so I'm
Invincible.
I'm excited.
You gotta.
I'm excited.
I'm not gonna tell you anything about it.
And I'll probably talk about that, but no. Yeah, October was big, man. I mean, I know. Capped off about 45 movies in the month, I think, all horror movies. So I'll be excited to watch something else. But it's fun. It's fun. Life of an Average Joe has been fun. I met a lot of great people. Obviously, I'm talking to them right now. But I've met some really great people because of that podcast, and been on a lot of podcasts because of it. And it's been fun to talk about. I always think I'm going to run out of ideas.
No, you won't.
You know, because I am only 44, and I look back at all the things that I've done, and I've done a lot, and I'm like, man, eventually I'm not going to have a story. But that's just never true. You always have something when you're growing in life. Like you just have something. And I just recorded an episode that hasn't dropped yet, but it's dropping soon. And it's really for the men out there, but the women, by all means, we love you. You can listen. It's really just talking about, men and what we deal with without people knowing what we deal with.
Oh, that's good.
And it's the struggles and fears, and I just think that it's time to talk about it. So
sounds like I'm going to have a brand new favorite Life of an Average Joe podcast episode.
I think it came out good, man. I think it came out good. I think when you hit those moments, and I mean, not to say that all you guys know, you're yourself on the show always. You're not being anybody else. But
Correct.
Sometimes you have those moments that you really hit yourself. This was one of those moments. So this was one of the, I felt it at the end. Trust me.
Yeah.
It's going to be one of those great guys. Guys, listen, I know everybody that's been listening, you've been enjoying the show with Brandon and Stuart. Guys, I'm so glad that they were here tonight with us and join in on TMG. Tell Me Something Good, the podcast. Guys, before we get out of here, I always say this. Stuart, what's something that you would say right now to someone who says, oh, I found this in my bag, and something that could encourage somebody who thought something was old-fashioned, or maybe an old-fashioned idea or value, but still working? What's something that you could say right now, Stuart, that might encourage somebody to keep doing something that's positive for them?
What's in the bag? Twinkies.
They never get old, bro. Never get old. Never.
They were in the bag. They were in the bag 60 years ago, and they're still in the bag.
Yes. I'm with you. I will do Twinkies. I'm sorry, Brandon. I'm with Stuart on that one.
I'm sorry. Cupcakes and Little Debbie and all of that. Still there.
So Stuart,
thank goodness. Where is that bag?
Where's that bag? Brandon,
where's the bag?
You would say? I need 2 of those bags.
What would I say that's in the bag that they need that's something that's positive in their life? What would I give them, man? I would tell you right now, look, listen to those inner voice that's in there that your parents have said. Your gut's going to tell you something. Your voice and we've all ignored it, but I'm going to tell you right now, that's in the bag for a reason, and it won't let you down. You might make mistakes, but it is telling you what you need to know. And the thing is, most of the time, we already know it.
Yeah.
So just find yourself away from that noise and the clutter of the busy day life of work, of social media, and just listen, because that little voice,
follow the path.
That's the strongest voice you could hear right now.
Yeah.
Oh God.
How about you, Travis?
Great. What would I say?
What's in your bag, Travis?
What's in my bag are the values that sometimes the world tells you no longer need.
Yeah.
Are the values of self-worth. Sometimes we have what's called imposter syndrome, and it's okay to admire what someone else has done, but it does not mean you have to become that individual. Yeah. Become your own person, become your own individual, and realize you are just as important being yourself as you are trying to emulate someone else. Yeah. That's what be in my bag. And if I don't do this, they say something to me. I promise you, if I don't, someone will say this. So it's about that time. It's been giving huge thanks to my very special guests, Brandon Novara and Stuart Sachs of Trash Talk. Thank you so much, guys, for being here. guys, you know how we do this. You can listen to the show, guys, on your favorite streaming platform like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Pandora, and so many more. Or you can follow us, guys, on the YouTube page. That's Tell Me Something Good with a capital T. And guys, before we get out of here, as always, in party, if you're going to tell me something, then tell me something good. I'm out of here.
Good.
I gotta go. Peace.